Hey guys, welcome to this playtest. I apologize for mic quality. This is my new laptop and I'm still sort of just setting up, upgrading the setup here in Berlin, so yeah, just going to be working with the bare minimum here. And I apologize for any confusion around the rulebook. With this game, over the years, I've sort of redesigned it so many times. And I've sort of lost an objective sense for whether something's intuitive or not enough to put in the rulebook, I guess. So your playtesting is helping me a lot. Just sort of explaining properly how this game's played. So let's dive in. So as you've seen, I've deleted both the top characters here. I mean, I'm doing single-handed, so double-handed single player. Which is how single players played. So on that note, delete the other two decks because I'm playing single player. Delete the top card here, which is irrelevant. And just place this here. I'm going to delete the other two characters here too, which is Amalia and Malwan, I believe. Cool. So let's dive into it. So flip both these, shuffle them both. Change the color here. So right out the gates, we're also going to be drawing the allotted 4 paraphernalia. I'm actually going to shuffle this before we do that, along with the other decks that need to be shuffled, like thought cards and both the vacuous decks there. And I'm also going to be omitting information on the objectives because I haven't had any problems on those yet. They're pretty straightforward. I mean, it's just you sort of just reference a page and follow the instructions, so I don't think there's been any confusion there. Cool, so let's dive in. I think that is it at the moment. Alright, so drawing 4 cards here. Kill, disoriented, and injured. I'm going to discard disoriented and kill to move or open one door twice, which is I'm going to be opening the door first of all, and I'm going to be moving through to our first corridor here. And because I'm moving on this space, obviously I'm going to draw an eyesight card, the top one, to see what I see, essentially, find out what I see, which is going to be an empty hallway, luckily for this one. So we're going to reset anticipation, which hasn't even increased yet because it's the first turn. We're going to replace the display cards in the collective consciousness. There's been a bit of confusion about this, so I'm just going to clear it up here. Essentially what this means is, for our sake right now, it's literally just placing these down into the 3 allocated slots. But if these were at all full like this, it would just be getting rid of the other ones and then drawing a fresh 3 to fill these spots. So that's sort of how the replace works. It's all centered around these cards here. But anyway, we've pulled our first 3 here. And the next instruction is going to be to delve into the collective consciousness, which means to choose one of these 3 options. Remove 1 thought, gain 1 of the 3 below, or draw 3 from here and gain 1. Looking at these, there's not anything in particular I want. I mean, denial's pretty good and desperation could be good in the right circumstances. But I'm going to draw 3 here. Alright, that's pretty lucky. Sprint, we're going to pick that up. So sprint goes directly to my discard here. Something I'm going to be, one of the first things I'm going to be changing, apart from doing all the fixes you guys have sort of pointed out as confusion points or, you know, rogue mechanics or anything like that. One of the first things I'm going to be doing is increasing card cycle in this game. Card cycle in this game is pretty low. It sort of functions off old mechanics that I have, I guess, kind of lingered to update, but recently I had a playtest with a mate and we're just going to, I sort of knew this before, but we sort of discussed it very distinctly then, I guess, that we're just going to increase card cycle to make these cards you're gaining way more relevant. Kind of like Slay the Spire, if you've ever played that. Has extremely high card cycle, and it's just good fun. So, yep. So out of the 3 cards I chose one, and I discard the others. Just to the side here. Cool. And that's my turn there. For reference, if I didn't discuss before, like in the setup, you draw your full. Oh, sorry, I'm drawing that to the wrong person. Let's just take all these and put them in their hand. Cool. And switch over here. As what I was saying, you start with a full complement. So what I just did before as Bastion's turn was I acted, which is just to play a card for every mind you have, or discard a card, which is what I was doing, twice in a row to move twice. So let's play as Iman now, after increasing the anticipation by 1, because Bastion's turn is now over. That's annoying. Let's fix it up quickly. Cool. And for Iman's turn here, this is a great card adapted. I got very lucky with that. So drew that straight off the rip. I'm going to do disorientated here and move twice. Like discard it to move twice because of my adapted ability there. Here, and then we're just going to move up the hallway here. Again, look at where the arrow would point if it was downwards and place it that way. It always faces away from the living room. So whether it's this, whether it's that, once they flip, if they're pointing away from the living room, you've got it right. So that's all you need to worry about. Right, Mum moves here. And we're going to pick up the next eyesight card. Let's give it a go. Alright, so we got end table. Let's resolve this first, because obviously we've got an enemy here, but let's resolve this first, because this is the first one we drew. Breathe. So Iman immediately breathes, which is going to be filling up her hand to her complement, which is 4, so I'm going to draw 1 to even that out. Reset anticipation. Just going to be resetting this 1. And also delve into the collective consciousness. Sweet. This one specifically doesn't say to reset the collective consciousness here, so we're going to be sticking with these cards. I'm going to say for Iman's sake that we're going to do the same thing that Bastion did and draw 3 from the top. Mental Loop's a really nice card. Trauma can be good in certain circumstances, very combo heavy, and Slipstruck's just very versatile and nice. I'm going to say Mental Loop though, just as a setup potential card. Cool, put in our discard. Put these back in the deck there. And we're going to set up the dog here. Now that that's done. Cool. So give the dog the first enemy player token. Set up with this little standee here, which is going to be dog number 1. And sweet. So because Iman's turn is the second turn, it is now. Oh, actually, no. We've got one more act because that was just one discard that allowed us to move twice because of adapted. So we've actually got one more thing to do here, which is going to be injure. I'm going to get started injuring this dog here. So let's put a bleeding token on that, based on the unarmed attack, which is bleeding. I should actually change that keyword to kill. Change the attack keyword to injury, to make it relevant to the current version of this game. Injure used to be attack, so that's where the bit of confusion there comes from. Cool, and that's Iman's turn. We're going to add 1 anticipation because it's over there. And now it's the dog's turn because it's the end of our phase here. So let's draw 2 vacuous cards for the dog based on this 2 mind here. And based on the symbol to the bottom left there that has a dog skull similar to this one. So let's drag this over, bit of ease, shuffle it to make sure we shuffled. And let's draw two things to see what we do here. So there's also been a bit of confusion about this ladder rung here, which I'm going to clear up in a future rulebook edition. But essentially, starting at the top, you want to check what this, like the first available action is what this card does, and this card is immediately discarded after. So because of what Hunger does, which is checks if someone's in LOS, line of sight, and if someone is, they gain 1 mind, essentially, and that is correct. So we just do Hunger and immediately discard this one, which is just going to be right there, it's fine. Cool, so the dog gets 1 mind there, which is potentially really bad if this thing doesn't get killed soon. And then Injure, so we're also going to deal out 1 bleeding to Iman, who is the target of this dog. And we're going to put that there. Cool, and straight back to my turn. This is a very flowy game. Like it's kind of weird not having a round structure almost. It makes it kind of discombobulating, but I really enjoy it. I think once you get into it, how simple the round structure is, the game flows really fast, which is what I'm intending. And with future editions, I'm hoping it to be even faster, or even just simple to get into, but hard to master. That's the ultimate objective here. And even more ultimate than that is just fun, of course, which is all what every board game should aspire to. Cool, and it's my turn now. So let's change our color up to Bastion now. And it's kind of a shame we don't have something to deal 1 more than we can, but that's fine, because we're going to use Kill and discard it to move 1. And then I'm going to use Injure here to deal another bleeding here. And I find it easier just to do the 2 times token. It's a massive savior of the game. I can't wait actually just to have it in physical, because it just feels nice. Cool, so it's got 2 bleed now. Let's increase the ant by 1 and move over to a Martin's turn here. So, cool, we've got here. We have actually got Kill, but sadly we haven't got any Injure, which is really rough. We also can't breathe effectively because we've got 1 bleed. Well, we can actually, sorry, because you heal a wound before breathing. I mean, I could take the risk and just see if we get an Injure here to resolve this next turn. See ya. Have a good one. It's tricky. I'm going to say let's discard Disorient, take a chance down the hallway here and see what we find. So moving twice. Cool. That's the direction. Moving in here. Resolving this, nothing there. Reset Anticipation. Place the display cards. Which was quite nice here. Ambush is also quite nice. Especially with our combo. So I'm actually going to pick that up there. Just straight up. Cool. And then with her 1 remaining action, she can, and this is another thing that was asked, once you've revealed something, can you also use your remaining action if you move to? And yes, you can. So she's just going to dive back here. And let's think about that. I'm fine with that actually. I think I'm just going to end my turn there. So yeah, increase the anticipation. And it is the dog's turn again. And the dog, because it's vacuous, after space priority, like how many spaces a character is away, which is drawn right now, like drawn between the characters, its next priority is who is the healthier character, which is going to be Bastion here. So his next attack, if he makes one, is going to be aimed towards Bastion. So let's have a look. So he draws 3. I'm just going to move this discard out of the way. So he's 3 brain. So kill is not able to be made because it wouldn't be successful. So the next possible thing, that's another distinction that was asked about. Because kill's not possible, go straight to injure. And injure is possible, so this dog is going to do it, which is just going to apply 1 bleeding to Bastion because he's the preferred target. And another injure, which puts both of these actually the same, because they're the same distance and the same health, which means it then targets in memory the lower number, the lower order token number. So it's going to attack Iman there. Yeah, I'm just going to use it 2 times actually. I find it's a bit nicer. Cool. And for its final attack, it does the same thing, another injure. So that goes to Bastion because now Bastion is the higher health character. Cool. And now it is my turn. Bastion's turn again. This is rough. So, but no hand. So let's just do a breed and draw. So get rid of 1 wound first, and then draw up to complement, which is now 3 because I've got 1 bleeding, removing 1 of my body. So my current is 3. Some of these are alright. I mean, reflection can be used potentially. Should be fine. And that's that turn. So let's increase hand for that. Now let's go to Aman. Let's have a look what we have. So nothing that can really be used to deal with this still, which is really rough. So I'm going to say do the same thing, which is just going to be a breathe. And then 1 draw essentially. That's very unfortunate. Yep, so dog's turn again. Alright. Having a rough time against this. Let's have a look. So injure, hunger, injure. Alright, and also by the way guys, hunger's bonus doesn't apply until the next turn for the enemy, so they don't immediately get to draw another card there. Yeah, so injure, which is going to be against Iman because tied, and then 2, like we talked about before. Second one, which is going to be hunger, which is going to be increasing its mind here. And the third, which is going to be injure again, which is going to be done against Bastion. Cool, and that's resolved. Bastion's turn. I can't remember what he has, so hopefully we have something good. We do, luckily. So finally we can put a bit of an end to this. Do you think I want? No, I think I'm going to use it like that. So we're just going to do another injure there. And then I'm going to say probably line up the next room here. So I'm going to discard that and move here. Cool. And then increase hand for the end of the turn. And switch over to Iman, who can now kill this because it has 3, which is great. Cool. So first of all, let's clean this up. Get rid of that, put that there. Get rid of the other bleeding. Another thing, for the sake of trophies, which you might have read about, which is increasing your own body and mind, any mind increased from hunger or learnt is actually reserved on the trophy. And as you remember, we need 5 mind or 5 body to exchange for 1 body increase or 1 mind increase respectively. Sadly, it didn't have a 5th, so we're just going to be saving this Probably for another mind, maybe another body actually, just for another, if we can kill another enemy there. So sweet. And then I'm probably gonna end it there because I think. Oh, actually, I'll use kill here to move one and open the door. Something adapters should specify as well is that movement bonus of discarding is doubled. This should actually be movement bonus, or the underlying assumption is that it's also opening a door potentially. So we're going to be moving and opening that door just to set up the next turn here. And because there's no enemies, it goes straight to Bastion's turn once this is upgraded. I'm just going to enter a room first, just to associate that, just to lay it out for you guys. But I think we've pretty much covered everything already, aside from potential boss happening, which is pretty straightforward in memory. So yeah, let's go to Bastion's turn. We're just going to breathe. So let's get rid of this. And draw 2 for our full complement here. Injured, disorientated. Increase amp by 1. Go to Aman. Aman's also going to breathe. Cool. Increase, back to Bastion. And we're going to lay these two out just to discard them for their movement here. And lay down the first available room here. And I'm going to roll. I know most of these events off the top of my head, so I shouldn't have to reference the event book here. I might have to anyway, just for that. Alright. So I believe in memory this is a human dog, and because it's in the master bedroom here, I actually discard a card because it knocks me on my head in memory. Let's base down that human dog. Let's, I think, jewelry as well, off the top of my head. And then let's just search up here. Perfect. Jewelry is a great item as well, great paraphernalia. So we're just going to be equipping that and representing that increase by putting a plus body there. And then we're going to engage in combat with this. Yeah, so that's pretty much, that's pretty much the demonstration. I don't think there's anything off the top of my head that wasn't covered briefly in that. I'm sure there's fringe cases like specific items and what they do maybe, or something like that. But if you guys have any more confusion about how this game plays out, or certain fringe cases, just ask me personally, and I'll add it to the to-do list of my rulebook there. Because we just want this to be as playable as possible. I really like complex games, but I also want this to be entry level for a lot of people, and something they can introduce their families to as well. But yeah, like, I don't want to exclude anyone with a easy gameplay. So like people who are more passionate about board games. So we're also going to be keeping a sort of maybe adding like a difficulty system or something like that. Difficulty scaling or choice selection of something like that, or just making it generally quite a hard game to survive up until the end there. Easy to understand but hard to build, kind of like Slay the Spire or something like that. I really admire those types of games. So I think we covered everything there. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.